What's up, guys? Tom Matthew here for followphilandtom.com, and today I want to welcome you to the first inaugural Phil and Tom podcast. Officially the number one Phil and Tom podcast on the internet. And we're just giving this podcasting a go for the first time today. I don't know how the audio is going to be because we're just testing out a mic. And I'm here with Dad, Phil. How are you, Dad?
How are you, everybody? I'm good. I'm just I don't know what's going to happen, so I'm just.
Dad doesn't know what a podcast is. He's looking a bit lost, but that's his normal.
I know it's an audio recording. I know that.
That's his normal look. And Mum, I got Janine here as well. How are you, Janine?
I'm good, thank you, Tom.
Beautiful. So we're just sitting in the kitchen at the moment, and we're going to be going for about 20 minutes talking about everything related to business, online business, and personal development. So, Dad, let's just start off. What's excited you this week? What's been going on this week on your end for the business? Because we all have separate roles. What have you been up to this week?
Okay, some of the things that have excited me. I think I get excited by what you and Mum, Janine, do. You're on YouTube, so as I sort of set forth in my day, I go, well, Tom's got a good handle on YouTube. He's going to put a couple of videos out, and Janine's been making her way on WordPress, putting websites together. So whenever I think about that, I get pretty excited in terms of our development because and I must admit, I almost sort of felt like that this week we've sort of come full circle. And that sounds really weird, but it's just been so challenging to sort of find a good system that's going to hold us in good stead for a long time. Find coaches that you can trust. So, just off the top of my head, you sort of hit me with that. There are other little things that have excited me during the week, but they're just not coming. I'll jut it in as they come to mind.
Okay, Mum, what's excited you about this week? What have you been up to this week?
What have I been up to? What day are we up to?
We're up to Wednesday.
Wednesday. We're up to Wednesday already. Oh my gosh. What have I done this week? I'm revamping the website.
What website? Because we have so many.
Just want to mumble that one more time, Tom. Phil and Tom Plus.
Oh, great, Julie. I'm so excited about that. And how's that going?
It's going well, thank you. Yes. So, hence, one of the things that I've had to learn this week is how to put a podcast on a website.
You're welcome for that content, by the way. That's right.
Are you talking about your video that you sent to me today that I posted?
I'm talking about the podcast. You say it with a look of annoyance on your face that you had to figure that out.
It wasn't annoyance.
But you're welcome for that content.
Yeah, well, that's a very good idea. I've seen this as we played around with it the other day. Yes, it will be very good. Now I'm just trying to get it to work. One of the things that I'm really struggling with is that iTunes want a photo that's 1400 by 1400 pixels. Can anyone tell me how to find a photo 1400 by 1400 friggin' pixels?
Well, our logo that we got done a couple of weeks ago was like 300 pixels or whatever, and then we got it changed to 1000.
Yeah, but I can't get a resize. The resize whoever do.
I thought we decided that we weren't going to do iTunes until we got it up.
Well, you got to have iTunes. You got to have iTunes. Sort of, even though you're not using iTunes, you've got to have it set up to use iTunes, or otherwise you can't use podcast. It's all very complicated.
Yeah, well, I don't know about that.
I think that's one thing I've been excited about is having leads coming to the website that Janine's built. That's been exciting, and we're doing that by we spend a lot of money on advertising, testing out done for you traffic was one. We tried out several different methods, right? Facebook, we spent a couple of $1,000 there. We spent money on bulk email marketing, a couple of $1,000 there. We spent $3,000 on solo ads. We spent anyway, we spent about $12,000 on this very highly rated done few traffic, and
Wait,
to
can
this
I just
point,
interlude there?
Interlude or
Where,
interrupt.
well, same thing. Where was the highly ratedness? Where does that come from? Because it was a brand new program.
well, I guess at the time it was highly rated from, I'll call them gurus, who were spruiking numbers, and I got sucked into the vortex of that. And yeah, look, we got a couple of thousand leads. We got some sales, but the numbers didn't stack up. So, long story short, we thought, okay, well, we're not going to give up on paid traffic, but we're just not going to be going down that route. So here we are. Janine's put a website together and has worked out through content marketing. It's called content marketing, which is we employ a business, or we outsource that particular business to write articles for us, and they based on keywords. So they do that, and we started. If you try to think about the numbers, because we've done a bit of advertising, and it's very easy to rack up, $1,000 in advertising, and you might get a couple hundred leads probably. But here we are now. We're investing $50 a month, and when I think about all the things that we've spent money on, here we are. We're spending $50 a month, and we're getting leads to a website. Now, obviously, to Janine's credit, she's built a nice website and she's put time into that and learned the WordPress process and dotting her I's and crossing her T's, so hats off to her. And then by bringing in this outsourcer, we're getting these what they call double opt-in leads, not single opt-in leads, but so it's a good quality lead that are being attracted to us. So while we sleep, and so there's something really nice about that you actually have leads finding you mysteriously. And so we've upped the ante on that, and we've now doubled that from $50 a month to $100 a month. And man, all the things we've spent money on per month, and here we are actually just attracting leads. And I don't think that's going to stop. I just think with this particular guy who's been the good thing I did like about him was that he replied to emails, which was that's a big thing. When people will actually communicate with you. So that's very exciting. Because in this industry, if you can attract leads, those leads, initially they don't know much about you, but if you have look at the website that we've got, they get to look at your videos, they get to know you, like you, trust you, and they would become, eventually buyers. So they go from leads to buyers, they become customers. And one of the people that teaches us, like you can talk about marketing can be this, and marketing can, what's that saying? Marketing means different things to different people, but when you do marketing right, and you get a buyer, and you've got the right system in place, and you treat them the right way, and you can deliver value, what happens is that they want to spend more money with you, basically. And so that $50 that they might spend initially then turns into $300, and then that $300 turns into $2,000, that $2,000 turns into $9,000, and so it goes on. And so to actually be attracting leads to a website and where we're branding ourselves, that is gold. That is gold. And we can only probably appreciate that, or I feel, after having spent so much money on getting leads. So anyway, I'm just waffling here, but that was exciting.
Well, you did mention something about paid advertising, and the thing that I like about paid advertising that I feel after all the money we spent there is that I like the idea of doing paid advertising, but doing it ourselves.
Sure.
Because then you can look at the ads, you can look at the numbers, where the leads are coming from.
Yes.
And it's not just here, have some money, and they just really don't give you much information about the leagues. I like that. And that way you can improve it, you can test it, you know what's going on. Now, we're halfway through this thing, so I want to bring up some bad news.
No.
Okay, it's bad news. I just read on the Essendon website.
Oh, no.
Michael Hibbert
No, he's
will be
not
out for the
playing.
next 2 to 3 weeks
Car?
with a hamstring strain.
Car? Hammy?
Yeah.
When did you do the hammy?
Well, I don't know. There's
Here he's come back and just for 1 week and we've canned him because he played such an ordinary game. But
Right.
this is not going to be good.
I know. But on the plus side, we have Winderlick, who's been playing in the back line. He's been bloody brilliant.
Did you say Winderlick or Licky Dick?
I said Winderlick.
Right, okay.
So for our international viewers, we're talking about Australian rules footy right now.
Best game of the one.
And Australian rules football competes with other sports like soccer and rugby and gridiron and Gaelic football. And for us, we can understand how people might like those things, but the Australian brand...
I don't understand it.
The Australian brand is different.
I don't understand it.
It's a
to be
very
blunt, Tom.
different.
Well, just to be blunt, those sports suck, but whatever. Whatever makes you
It's
happy.
just your opinion, Tom.
It is my opinion.
Everyone's got one. Doesn't mean they're right. Doesn't mean they're wrong.
Well, I disagree with that. I'm always right, Mum.
So on the weekend, I got up and I
How did we get to the weekend?
I don't know.
on the weekend, last weekend, you were just talking about stuff that I can remember way back when I was testing myself out to write articles. Remember, I'd go in there and I'd come out a couple of hours later and I'd go, oh, I wrote one, you know, and I'd write this 1,000-word article. And I actually wrote about 20 of them. And it was all, you know, at that particular time you had to do keywords and all this stuff. And I just didn't know whether I could write one, but I wrote about 20 of them. I never published them at the time because I didn't. That was a whole new ball game. So they still actually exist today, but on the weekend it's amazing how you know, when you sort of keep honing a skill. What's that saying? That which we persist in doing becomes easy for us to do. Not that the nature of the thing itself changes, but our ability to do it just increases and improves. So I, you know, on the weekend, you know, I just pumped out a blog post. I pumped out it was an article that we actually get written for us. We pay for these articles to get written. This is but they still need work. They need to be what they call optimised, which optimise means search engine optimization. Optimize means, you know, keyworded and some other little things like that, so that they get picked up. And so a blog post, an article, and I also pumped out 2 videos. Now I pumped out the 2 videos while I was on a walk, and they only go for 2 minutes. But you got to remember that we spent one whole year pretty well, roughly, working out how to do this video marketing. So it's, you know, when you stick at something, that which we persist in doing, and in this case it was video marketing, becomes easier for us to do. Not that the nature of the thing changes, the video marketing, but it's our ability. We just become better at it, stronger at it. We become more productive at it. That's a nice thing as well, you know, in your writing and articles. Because why is that important? Because, look, you know, in the end, you know, it's really a good idea to have your own brand and to work out why you want to have your own brand, to have your own brand so that you can own the leads. That's a really good thing. So therefore, to be able to, now how do you build a brand? You know, well part of that, to try to short circuit it, is that it's to you know, become sort of an expert in things, to learn. What's that? What was it? Learn, do, and teach. Is it learn, do, and teach? Something like that. You learn, you do, and you teach. So you learn something, which is exactly what we've done. We've learned something, we've then done it or applied it, and then we can go and teach it.
Yeah. I think a key point with that, when we're starting out, I remember when we were starting out, I'll speak for myself, writing articles, doing videos. We were on Carbon Copy Pro, and they had a list of all this training. They had all the marketing methods you had. You had videos, blogging,
They did.
Google, Facebook. Facebook wasn't around then, I don't think. Not the advertising. But they had social media, maybe, I can't remember.
How overwhelming was that?
And that's exactly my point. And they did say it, but we didn't have enough pressure put on us to make this point that you have to pick, I believe, when you're starting out, you pick one marketing method. Now, you just said, as you persist with something, the thing doesn't change. It doesn't get any easier. You just get better at it.
Yes.
Because of your growth.
That's right.
Now, if you're focusing on 20 different things, like we were, you're not going to move. But if you're focusing on one thing, you've picked one thing, video marketing, for example, and you just go at that. It might be tough at the start. You've got to figure out resolution. You've got to figure out the camera you've got to use. You've got to figure out lighting. You've got to figure out all this crap.
That's even before you get in the camera.
Exactly. You've got to figure out all this crap. But if you're just focusing on that one thing and there's nothing else to think about, like forum marketing or blogging or setting up social media or any of that stuff, then you can progress a lot faster. So I think there's a lesson in what you're saying. When you're just starting out and you haven't got any results, you're not generating leads, you're not making sales, start focusing on one thing. Pick one marketing method, one traffic method, marketing, traffic, same thing, and get good at it and just persist at it. And it's going to be tough at the start. You're going to feel like you know nothing. You're going to be
tripping over yourself.
Exactly. You're just going to have no idea.
It's going to feel like it's going nowhere.
Exactly. But if you keep at it, at that one thing, because you're focused on it, little piece by piece, that you'll learn something, then you'll learn something else, and it'll start coming together.
Would it be true to say that we picked video marketing initially, do you think?
Initially, well, we did. We picked that.
That's what I think.
I'm trying to think. We picked that. We picked article marketing. You just said you wrote like 20 articles that you didn't publish. I just want to make a point that I wrote 6 articles, not as many, but they were all published.
All published.
All published.
They
Well,
were.
I would've
Highly impressive.
I know. I did it. Yeah.
Where'd you publish them?
Huh? I posted it to Easy in Articles, to
Yeah.
article.
Easy that.
Article.
You
I don't
did
know.
that.
I've got the
I-
diary.
yeah,
we
I
had a
did.
picture. We have a picture on the blog that I think we took off
Is
because they
that
had
the
passwords
journal?
on there.
That's the journal.
That's where I posted
The
them.
Mark Overson journal.
But I think that, getting into the videos was a good move, and, we spent about a year putting together this brand, really. And trying to work the whole thing out and get our heads around it and and actually starting to do the videos. And we didn't really know what we were doing, but we just put action behind it. And so it is difficult at the start, and you're not quite sure where it's going to end up. But when we look back on that year, that would be one of the best years that we spent, in hindsight. Looking back now.
Yeah, in hindsight's a good point, because at the time,
we were beating ourselves up.
Not so much because we didn't actually go anywhere, but now, because of that work we put in, it's like a foundation we laid, and it's coming down now. And for me, if I could recommend anything to anybody in terms of picking a training, a traffic method, a marketing method, same thing, I would suggest video marketing. Now, we know some people aren't going to be into that. Some people are going to like to write, and some people are going to like the numbers. They like advertising or whatever. But the thing about videos is, I think when you're talking about branding, we did a whole year of branding with a blog. We came up with a tagline. We went and got some pictures and all this sort of stuff. If I'm teaching somebody now, I would say video marketing is the best way to brand. You don't have to knock yourself out about branding with your brand, in terms of technical stuff. You start putting videos out, you start putting yourself on video and putting them online. What happens is you're very reserved at the start, but as you get more comfortable on camera and start talking about stuff, your personality starts to come out, and through that your brand just develops. That's what I think anyway.
No, I think you...
Because I remember when we first called Mark Hoverson, we said... something about videos, and I said, how do you brand? And he said, the branding's in the videos. That's what he said.
Yeah, and I guess the thing that's not so appealing to people is that the whole internet marketing, online marketing spectrum is marketed in such a way that you can get rich quick, you can make money quick, and that really, I I think that's just
bullshit.
I think that hurts you in the end, and I've certainly had to endure that. But I think if you're the sort of person that wants to make a six-figure income in your life, a six-figure income, so $100,000 and beyond, and if you know that you're never going to do that doing what you're doing, then why wouldn't you learn video marketing? You know, because it's a real skill. It becomes an asset. Each video becomes an asset.
Yeah, and when we're talking about focusing on that one thing, I feel like that would be a tough thing for people to swallow when you say just focus on one thing, because at the start it's really hard to learn and you feel like you're going nowhere, like we just said. And the reason it's that little bit tougher is because when you get into the industry, internet marketing, it is so hypey, and all they do is say you're going to make money in 3 months. We've seen those clickbait products, and you go on there and they got a sales page and say you download this and you click that button, you're going to make some money like by tonight. You'll make $500 by tonight. And it's just, first of all, it's bullshit. It's just crap. But if you go in there when you're just starting out and you go into it with the mindset of, you know what, I got to learn some new skills. And that could take me a year, it could take me 2 years, then you're not fretting in your mind about, oh, how do I make money now? How do I make money now? Because you know you have to develop the skills. So you can sit there, work on video marketing and just progress slowly, and you're not knocking your brains out about, oh, I haven't made any money yet. Because you know it's not going to happen in 3 months because you've got to develop some skills.
Yeah, it's very much like, you know, people that go and do a university degree, whether it be law or accounting, or, you know, people want to learn to become a doctor, and so, you know, it's going to take them, you know, 3 or 4 or 5 years, and and they have to learn a series of subjects. It might be 30 topics, whatever, and they have to, you know, go through that. And at the end of it, they can come out in their first year. They might make, this is after they do all that, they would make about $50,000. So I think it's fair to say in the online marketing world that, you know, in a 12 to 18 month period, you can really, you know, your whole world can change. Because you start doing the learning part, learning, right, trying to get your head around it. And I guess that's one of the benefits of knowing us, is that anybody that got on Skype with us, for example, we would fast track them, you know, super quick. In terms of having to spend, I would have to save people easy 2 years, you know, because we would have lost 2 years in all the stuff, providing they're coachable.
Yeah. Well, you make a good point that I'm saying it could take a year to develop these skills, but I think of, compared to other businesses like a brick and mortar business, it is true. Yes, the internet marketing industry is incredibly hypey, but compared to a brick and mortar business, you can make a full-time income, a six-figure income, very quickly, compared to a brick and mortar business. Now,
well, that's right.
It's not as fast as like 3 months, because that's ridiculous. But I think of guys like David Walsh, that David Eves guy who I'm following on YouTube. I'm subscribed to them, and the brand that they've built through YouTube, 30,000 subscribers in a year and 50,000 subscribers in a year.
Who's this?
David Walsh and David Eves. They're people
David Walsh. I like him.
And they've done that in a year.
Who's the other one?
David Eves, he's just another guy. He's got 50,000 subscribers on YouTube, and it's not a year; it's probably 18 months. He did it from January last year. He started.
But I think the thing to think about is that, you know, we started with zero knowledge. We went along to our first seminar and we knew nothing. I mean, I think I knew how to send an email, but I really didn't know much about emails even then. So we really just started with nothing. So it is true that we know that we started with nothing, and we are where we are now. We feel confident of getting you know, confident of running down a really good result. Now the problem is that as you go along, this six-figure income, it can go from you know, you can look at 50,000, 100, but now, you know, I guess my brain sort of thinks, you know, 250 plus. You know, the industry can carry that sort of. That's what it carries.
Yeah, and the story. Hey, Louise. Louise has just walked in here. We're on a podcast, Louise.
Yeah, we're on a podcast. She doesn't care. She doesn't care. She doesn't care.
The other, we're gonna wrap this up.
We're gonna wrap it up.
Yeah, we're gonna wrap this up after this story. But a part of that is, I think when you're just starting out, we just told the story about how we were starting out, and we knew nothing. I think a mum, last year or 18 months ago, however long it was ago.
9 months ago.
9 months ago, not even
months
a year.
ago.
Not
9
even a
months,
year.
not
She
even.
was asking the question, what is traffic?
Yeah, 9 months ago.
Now come on, how can you not know what traffic is, Mum? That's pathetic.
Well,
but there's
okay.
probably people on this
I didn't know what traffic
there's
was.
people who are listening now who probably don't know what traffic is, and now
Yeah.
we look at Mum, how she's progressed. She's the technical person now.
Mm.
She's setting
No,
up
I'm not.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm
Accept
not.
it.
No, I'm not.
She's doing
No, I'm not.
webinars. She's setting up the websites, and she's going to start doing Facebook advertising.
Don't look at me. Don't look at me. That's him. Between you and him,
I didn't need a
there's
thing.
there's no chocolate chip cookies left,
I
Tom.
think now's the perfect time to wrap up because I'm being accused of eating the chocolate chip cookies.
Which
So,
you did eat.
let me
See everybody.
let me wrap it up here, Dad.
Oh, sorry.
Let me wrap it up
Just
here,
don't
Dad.
sort of say, see you.
No, you don't. So, guys, if you enjoyed the content, the podcast, the conversation, please tell us in the comment section below. And something that we're saying at the end of all our content now is, if you have any problems in your business, if you have any questions about a particular topic, or there's a topic that you want us to cover, tell us in the comment section below. And if we can, if we're capable of answering it, we'll do our best to answer it. But if we really know what we're talking about on the subject, we'll do a video on it, or we'll talk about it in the podcast, or we'll do an article on it. So tell us in the comment section below, and we'll do that. And that's pretty much it for the first inaugural Phil and Tom podcast, the
waving
number
goodbye.
one, the
That
number
doesn't really
one
make much
Phil
sense
and
to
Tom,
wave goodbye, does it?
podcast on the internet. It is the only Phil and Tom podcast on the internet, but that's it. See you later, guys.
See you later.